Hi guys, in this video we will discuss three different models of communication. All kinds of media content have its negative and positive effects on audiences. Many of the mass communication theories deal with the phenomena of media effects. Today we will discuss personal influence, diffusion and short-term effects of mass communication on individuals. This video will help you preparing your third assignment in which you have to define and provide examples of three models: stimulus response model, two-step flow of influence, mycelium model of public opinion. So let's start with the first model, stimulus response model. What is stimulus? Dictionary says that a thing or event that evokes a specific functional reaction in an organism. So, for example, if you touch a hot plate, your response will be quickly pull back your hand. In this case, a hot plate is stimulus and your response is to avoid it. Similarly, in the current situation, if you hear a news about increasing death toll of coronavirus, you will start taking precautionary measures. If there will be a message on media to wash your hands with soap, as a response, you will start washing your hands frequently to avoid illness. So, stimulus response model is an old model of communication which is very common in our daily life. According to this simple model of learning, effects are specific reactions to specific stimuli, so that one can expect and predict a close correspondence between media message and audience reaction. The main elements in this model are a message, a stimulus, which is represented by S, a receiver, organism, represented by O, the effect, response, which is represented by R. It is also mentioned with the letters of SOR. All kinds of media effects can be discussed under this model. The famous hypodermic theory or magic bullet theory is another example of SOR model. Now the second model, two-step flow of influence. In this model, we will discuss the role of community leaders. This model challenges the old hypodermic needle theory. In 1944, Lazarsfield studied that the media does not influence every person. It only influences some people. Lazarsfield and his friends studied a campaign of United States presidential election of 1940 and observed that ideas often flow from radio and print to the opinion leaders and from them to the less active sections of the population. The two-step flow of communication model says that most people from their opinions, they produce and develop their opinion under the influence of opinion leaders who in turn are influenced by the mass media. The model of two-step flow of influence, there are few assumptions that individuals are not social isolates, but members of social group interacting with the other people. The response and reaction to a people, uh, the response and reaction of the media will not be direct and immediate, but mediate through and influenced by these social relationships. Another assumption is that individuals are not all equal in the face of media campaigns, but have different roles in communication process, and in particular can be divided into those who are active in receiving and passing on ideas from the media, and those who mainly rely on other personal contacts as their guides. So, according to this model, mass media do not operate in a social vacuum, but have an input into a very complex web of social relationships, and compete with other sources of ideas, knowledge, and power. This is another slide to understand what is this two-step flow model. Third model is the mycelium model of public opinion and interpersonal communication. This model is based on Brouwer's theory. It was suggested that we should consider mass media communication as a flow from people before it is a flow to people. So Brouwer provided a rationale and a model, which is called the mycelium model of public opinion and interpersonal communication. To support his views, he drew a correlation between the formation and expression of public opinion. For instance, in the mass media, the growth of mushrooms, which under certain conditions rapidly make their appearance. In fact, the fungus invisible above the ground is a unit of much more intensive, more stable, and hidden network of fibers, which is called mycelium, that feed the growth of fungi, which are the fruit of the mycelium. The mass media can be considered as fungi whose mycelium or roots are the networks of interpersonal relation and discussion which find their visible expression from time to time in the media. Brouwer emphasized three main assumptions on which this model is based. Number one, in mass communication, all communicatory units belong to the same interconnected system. Number two, mass media are an outgrowth or result of the other units rather than a cause or precondition. If cut off, they will be rapidly reproduced. For example, in colonial era, there was no newspaper that could represent Muslim community. So Maulana Zafar Ali Khan started a newspaper called Zamindar. Similarly, if any community nowadays feels the need to express its opinion, it initiates a newspaper or a channel. Likewise, some TV dramas are based on social issues. So in this case, social issues are mycelium and dramas are mushrooms. This model is particularly useful when considering media effects in relation to public opinion. So that's all for now. I hope this video will help you understanding some models of communication.